tonight. She was conned into a relationship by a police officer. Now this Regina journalist is sharing why she reported him. The feds revive electric vehicle purchase rebates and scrap a major EV mandate. And from Optimist Hill to the Olympics, Saskatoon's Maya Schwinghammer soars to success.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Thursday, February 5th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. A Regina journalist is speaking out about how a police officer lied to her in order to pursue an intimate relationship. Robert Semenchuck snooped internal records to prey on 33 women and will be sentenced Friday. Katie Swires sat down with the woman who untangled his web of lies.
Regina journalist Kerry Benjoe knows the power of a story, which is why she's telling hers now.
It was a really hard story for me, but in the broader picture, we as a society need to hold these men accountable.
Her complaint to police in 2023 spurred this.
A couple of days ago, one of our members was charged.
Sergeant Robert Semenchuck, a 22-year veteran of the force, now convicted of breach of trust and unlawful use of a computer. He used internal police records to form intimate relationships with 33 vulnerable women.
He came at a time when I was at my weakest, and he came with friendship.
It started in 2018 with a text from a wrong number. She'd just filed a police report against her abuser and was staying in a shelter. He called himself Jay Lewis, a contractor, not a cop.
And he was one of the only people that I did allow into my life because I trusted him.
Their on-again, off-again relationship lasted 3 years, then faded out, until Semenchuck tried to reconnect in 2023.
And I was like, do I really know this guy?
She did a reverse image search of the only photo she had of him and got this: Jay Lewis next to police officer she recognized, and in the background, a Regina police jacket.
I got Sergeant Robert Semenchuck. I remember just feeling that like a lightning bolt of fear, because he was a man of authority, a man of power.
A man with a badge who she never consented to have a relationship with.
Like I felt like I was raped.
Despite fearing for her safety, Benjoe reported Semenchuck to his employers. When police told her there were other victims, Benjoe knew she did the right thing.
He's no longer a police officer, so he doesn't have that power. He doesn't have the ability to abuse that power and hurt other women.
And because of that, she says she's satisfied no matter what sentence he gets. Katie Swires, CBC News, Regina.
A group of Saskatchewan environmentalists has filed an appeal after losing a legal challenge in January. They wanted a judicial review of the province's decision to extend the use of coal-fired power plants. But a judge decided it wasn't up to the courts to rule on what they believe is public policy. But the Saskatchewan Environmental Society, Citizens for Public Justice, and 3 concerned residents take a different view. Saskatchewan is the only province in Canada extending the use of coal power plants to generate electricity.
To us, the policy decision related to the coal burning power plants is the provincial decision to get off carbon fuel power by 2050. And that's clearly a policy decision, and it has no underpinnings of how they're going to get there.
The province tells CBC that extending the life of coal-fired power plants is about ensuring that families, businesses, and communities continue to have access to reliable and affordable electricity. A Saskatoon man is in trouble with the law in the U.S. He's accused of hacking into educational institutions in order to mine cryptocurrency. Aishwarya Duda has that story.
A Saskatchewan man is accused of hacking into undisclosed U.S. educational systems and using their supercomputers to mine cryptocurrency. He maintains his innocence, but the U.S. wants to extradite him.
I mean, how does a kid from Saskatchewan come up with the idea of mining this particular weird cryptocurrency? Like, where is that coming from?
Ryan James Roach is 34 now, but the allegations go back almost a decade, long before crypto became mainstream. U.S. prosecutors allege Roach worked with another Canadian to break into sophisticated processors used for research and mine the coin electronium.
Crypto mining by itself is not an illegal activity, right? But using public resources for this commercial purpose is a criminal activity.
In this case, causing almost $350,000 US in damages for a New York institution. Court documents show a forensic trail leading to Roach, IP addresses, servers, email records investigated by the FBI. Roach was arrested in December. He was released on bail in January. His lawyer told CBC News that Roach wants people to know he didn't do it. But right now, it's not about deciding guilt. A Saskatchewan judge will weigh whether U.S. evidence passes Canada's extradition test and whether the alleged conduct would be enough to charge him here. Roach is accused of conspiracy to commit unauthorized use of a computer, an offense that can carry up to 10 years in prison in Canada. In an email, the U.S. Department of Justice declined our request for an interview. The extradition hearing is set for April 2nd, and if a judge commits him for extradition, the federal Minister of Justice will make the final decision as to whether or not Roach will be surrendered to the U.S. criminal justice system. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The province and the YWCA have partnered to open a new semi-independent youth home in Regina. The building has room for 12 youth aging out of the child welfare system. They'll receive mentorship, a chance to build life skills, and advice on preparing for employment. The John Howard Society's Regina Youth Advisory Team worked with the Ministry of Social Services to give their input on what should be included in the home, as those serving on the team have experienced the challenges of aging out of the welfare system themselves.
We fought for this really hard. We have been working on this for 3 years, and now it's time to make it happen. I truly believe that the youth in this program will be able to flourish, knowing they have a solid community who has their backs throughout their stay.
Roberts believes the home will be a place of hope and resilience for those who stay there. The government is providing $865,000 annually to support the program. Prime Minister Mark Carney has outlined his government's new auto industry strategy. It's a sweeping multi-billion-dollar plan to jumpstart car and truck manufacturing in this country, insulate the sector from U.S. tariffs, and help Canadians buy more electric vehicles. Ashley Burke has the details.
The Prime Minister looking to get more Canadians into electric vehicles with new incentives to help make them cheaper to buy.
Canadians who purchase or lease a battery electric or fuel cell electric vehicle will receive up to $5,000 and up to $2,500 for plug-in hybrids priced up to $50,000.
It's part of Canada's new auto strategy that includes $6 billion towards consumer and business incentives to buy and build electric vehicles in Canada, and a fund to build more charging stations across the country so consumers make the switch.
Too many Canadians worry about being able to reliably get charging on journeys, especially in rural and northern communities.
The new roadmap also moves away from Justin Trudeau's EV mandate that required all new vehicles sold in Canada to be electric in a decade.
Canada will set a new, more ambitious, sovereign path to reduce automobile emissions.
Carney's government has set a new goal that 75% of new vehicles should be EVs by 2035, using tougher emission standards instead.
We're giving the industry the flexibility how they achieve that, whether through plug-in hybrids, EVs, more efficient ICE vehicles.
This new strategy is aimed at helping the auto sector getting hit hard by Donald Trump's tariffs by making it a global leader on EVs. but the opposition is taking aim.
Delays in abandoning this original Liberal EV mandate left uncertainty and have really left the sector in limbo, and jobs were lost and confidence was eroded.
The auto policy of the current government has been erratic. You know, they took away the EV rebates and then they put it back in.
The government's goal with this auto strategy is to position Canada away from the U.S. Carney says Ottawa is exploring a new system that will reward Canadian automakers for staying and investing in Canada as Trump tries to lure them to the U.S. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Luther Lions' Alex Taves steals the ball from Joe Wild of the McGrath Zeniths in the inaugural game of the Luther Invitational Tournament in Regina. The Lions, though, would go on to lose this one 99-53. The high school basketball tournament continues through Saturday. We have the day's Olympic news and Mickey's forecast after the break. Regina's Mark McMorris did not compete in the men's big air qualifying event Thursday. Earlier in the day, the snowboarder posted a video on social media explaining what happened during his practice Wednesday.
Hey everyone, it's Mark here. Just wanted to update you guys. I took a fall last night. I hit my head and I will not be able to compete in big air tonight, unfortunately. But fortunately, things are looking up for slopestyle, so just trying to stay positive and shift my focus to that event.
McMorris was taken off the hill on a stretcher after his fall. It brought back memories of his life-threatening accident in 2017 when he hit a tree in the BC backcountry. McMorris has about a week and a half to rest up until the men's snowboard slopestyle competition begins. McMorris won a gold medal in the slopestyle just last month during the X Games. An outbreak of norovirus is disrupting Team Canada's early plans at Milano-Cortina. The Canadian women's hockey team was supposed to play Finland Thursday in their opening game, but the Finns' roster has been ravaged by the illness. Just 8 skaters and 2 goalies showed up to Finland's practice. Finnish officials say 13 of their players are sick or in isolation. Players began showing symptoms Tuesday night. Canada will now play Finland on February 12th. Well, she didn't grow up near mountains, but Saskatoon's Maya Schwinghammer learned how to ski anyway. Now she is about to compete at the Olympics. Ashwarya Duda shows us how the mogul skier built her career on prairie snow.
Maya Schwinghammer grew up here, on prairie snow, practicing on small hills.
The first time I was on skis was towed behind a snowmobile on Christopher Lake at our family friend's place, their cabin there.
And when flat Saskatchewan ran out of slope,
we would go everywhere we could really drive to. So we would go to Calgary, Banff, Sunshine, Lake Louise, the west coast of Canada. I've skied in Fernie, Red Mountain.
It was tough. Weekend drives, long nights, spending holidays on the hills, to being one of the best in the world. Milano-Cortina will be her first Olympics in the bib, but not her first Olympic experience.
Watching the Olympics in 2010 was really my aha moment of, wow, I want to do that. I want to become an Olympian, and just to be there and watch the opening ceremonies and kind of be a part of that experience. I mean, I was 8 years old, but it definitely had a lasting effect.
She climbed fast, provincial team at 15, national team 2 years later, and her first World Cup victory last year. That qualified the 24-year-old for the 2026 Olympics.
Trying to just take a step back and kind of reset and realize that I have put all the work in, and it doesn't matter which bib number I start in. It's all part of the process and the journey, and just reminding myself that we're building to February.
Now it's all about staying calm.
I do a lot of visualization, a lot of meditation, and just try to find ways to keep the mind calm in those high-stress situations.
And she can always count on her dad.
I tell I want it top to bottom. I want you to have fun. And however it turns out, we've already won.
From Optimist Hill to the Italian Alps. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
And we are just hours away from the official start to the 2026 Milano-Cortina Olympics. Chief correspondent Adrian Arsenault recently sat down with the artistic director leading the team, putting it all together to get a sense of what the world can expect.
Good evening, Your Majesty.
Think about the Queen and James Bond in London. Think about Celine Dion at the Eiffel Tower. Icons in iconic settings.
In every opening ceremony, there's a moment everyone talks about the next day and for a long time to come. Will there be one of those in this ceremony?
For sure there will be a moment at Barcelona, lighting the cauldron with the arrow. In Torino we had Pavarotti singing for the last time. For sure, we have one or two moments that can be, make your eye water. I don't know how you
make you cry.
Make you, very emotional. I insist on that because I think that's the best tool to get everyone together.
And CBC's live coverage of the opening ceremony starts at 12:30 Friday. Adrian Arsenault will be co-hosting alongside Saskatchewan's own Devin Haru from CBC Sports. And weather specialist Mickey Wolf joins us now for a forecast worthy of a gold medal, perhaps?
I think so, Ethan. Maybe silver. I hope at least I qualify for the top 3. We're not seeing Olympic weather temperatures right now. Let's take a look at some of the warmth we've seen across the province. Yesterday, we had a couple record-breaking numbers for Saskatchewan. Maple Creek at 14.9 degrees. Yes, it's February. Yes, you're reading that correctly. Smashing the record from 1964. Prince Albert setting a very, very, very new record for that area, 6 degrees. The last record of 4.4 degrees as the high was set in 1925. So yesterday was a warm day for the province, and today was warm as well. We're seeing that high of 14 degrees for Maple Creek. Things in Saskatoon and Regina hovering around that 5 to 6 degree range, which is, again, quite warm for February. We do expect a bit of a cool off tomorrow, though. Overall, our skies are looking pretty nice and clear tonight. We might see a little bit of cloud cover across south and central Saskatchewan, and then things are looking cloudier as we move into the evening for the north. We're seeing a little bit of flurries, chances of flurries tonight for the central region, at least on the eastern half of that part of the province. And then as we get into Sunday, we will see some mixed precipitation. It's going to fall likely as snow throughout the north, but in the south, it could fall as mixed snow and rain. Again, we're seeing not until we get into Saturday overnight. Sunday, we'll potentially see up to 6 centimeters of snow in the central region for Hudson Bay. And then for Saskatoon and Wynyard, we might see about 1 centimeter of snowfall. In the north, things are looking a little bit more moderate over the next few days. We'll have some snowfall up to potentially 8 centimeters for Uranium City. Looking at our winds briefly here, folks, we're going to see a little bit of gusting as we get into tomorrow evening for the south. But again, we've got those warmer temperatures to make things feel not so bad with wind chill. A snapshot of our week here, we've got potentially rain or snow Tuesday with those temperatures hovering just above freezing. But overall a warmer week, and then things start to cool off as we get into the end of next week. As well for Saskatoon tomorrow, we're seeing a little bit of a cool down. I mean, it's not that drastic compared to the temperatures we saw today. Saturday's looking a little bit chillier, and then as we get into Tuesday, we're seeing a little bit of snow potentially for the province. So, Ethan, things are definitely they're warmer than we'd like, especially if we were hosting the Olympics out here in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, thank goodness we are not. Okay, Mickey, thank you.
Thank you.
Scientists have spotted a rare sea creature off the coast of Argentina, about 250 meters below the surface of the South Atlantic Ocean. The team came across this massive phantom jellyfish. It has a bell that typically grows to 1 meter in width, And those forearms can reach 10 meters in length, about as long as a bus. The elusive creature has only been sighted about 100 times in as many years. Stay with us. We have more news for you after the break. The man who caused the deadly Humboldt Broncos bus crash in 2018 is a step closer to being deported to India. The lawyer for Jaskirat Singh Sidhu says the Immigration and Refugee Board has rejected a request for Sidhu to stay in Canada as a refugee, and it means Canada Border Services Agency is now under a legal obligation to remove Sidhu from the country as soon as possible. Lawyer Michael Green says he's not sure when that will happen, but plans to ask for a deferral. The board is still considering a previous application to restore Sidhu's permanent resident status. And Mickey is back now for one last look at our forecast.
Ethan, we're seeing a little bit of a warmer February than we typically expect in Saskatchewan, but things are cooling down a bit tonight. Let's take a look at our overnight temperatures for the province. We're seeing those lows just hovering just below freezing for the south tonight, and then in the central region we're seeing a little bit cooler temperatures, especially for east central. Now in Stony Rapids we're hitting that -30 temperature tonight overnight, so things are definitely feeling cooler in the far north, and that's going to stay the same for tomorrow. The Churchill region is looking at a bit of a warmer day as we get into the afternoon. We're seeing a little bit of chances of flurries there, and we might see that throughout the east central part of the province tomorrow as well, but mostly sunny skies with a mix of cloud. So tomorrow is going to be a little bit of a cloudier day, Ethan, but I'm still happy to get outside in these beautiful temperatures we're seeing in the province.
Yeah, same here. Okay, thanks, Mickey.
Thank you.
And finally, a Manitoba photographer has been nominated for a prestigious Wildlife Photographer Award. Chris Petkow is in the running for the Natural History Museum's Wildlife Photographer of the Year People's Choice Award. His photo is of this stunning bird's eye view of a polar bear mom snuggling with her 3 cubs in a lush northern landscape on the western coast of Hudson Bay in August. It made a short list of 100 photos that's been whittled down from over 60,000 entries. Petkow says it feels surreal to be nominated.
You kind of know a little bit, you kind of know that, okay, yeah, this is something special, especially with a mother and 3 cubs. I mean, that is something that's unusual. And then also where it was taken is a difficult place to access.
This is the biggest nature photography competition in the world. Voting is now open until July. I'm betting he'll be getting lots of votes for that one. That is our news for this Thursday. You can always head to our website or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more, or download the CBC News app. Thanks so much for watching.